All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here this evening for some NASCAR Heat 5 career mode action for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Race number 17 and 18 on the schedule tonight. Yes, a doubleheader here on a Wednesday evening and a Wednesday night. And we start things off with the Indiana 250 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 250 miles, 100 laps around the famed Brickyard here tonight, and then following this race we will be at Kentucky for the second race here this evening as well. So welcome everybody on in to this one. Kyle Larson fan, Black Ace, Stephen Curry, welcome to the stream, and welcome everybody in here today. Should be a fun one. We've had some good races at Indianapolis in the past, and can't wait to get this one underway. Starting from the back, no practice or qualifying for this race. And we got one other driver starting at the rear, so it looks like we're 35th. There was a game glitch last night at the end of the stream, at the end of the race last night, during the stream still, where it skipped the Pocono race. So, for whatever reason, we did not race at Pocono, so we didn't get any points for that race. It is now a 7-point lead in the standings for us over Chase Briscoe, so we're in a deadlock tight battle once again. R6, welcome on into the chat as well. So here we go. Starting things off, Michael Annett will be on the pole for tonight's race. Austin Cindric, for the third straight race, is going to be starting at the rear. Man, they need to start getting through optical scanning a lot better than what they have been, because he is still getting decent finishes, or at least running up towards the front for a large part of the race, but if he wouldn't start at the back, he'd probably have a better shot at keeping that track position and possibly going into victory lane. Fact of the matter is, he is not, so we'll see what he can do here today. Green flag in the air, we're underway at Indy.
Careful, still there.
Side draft Timmy Hill as much as he can down the back straightaway.
Still there.
Wow, Schneider got really tight getting into turn 3. A little contact with Timmy Hill. Austin Cindric blows right around all three of those guys to turn 3. Michael Annett going to lead the opening lap of the race here tonight at Indianapolis. Cap 24, welcome to the stream. Short lap in the IndyCar series. There you go. We're here tonight at Indy.
Inside.
Oni, welcome into the stream. Wow, Schneider really tight again. Turn 1, he brushes the outside wall now as well. Having major problems with this race car being super tight. Finished 6th at Indianapolis last season. See what he can do in this one. Ryan Sieg ended up winning that race at Pocono. First win of his Xfinity Series career. Maybe trying to go back-to-back here tonight. Not a very long race. Again, only 100 laps. The race is going to fly by. Struggling with the zero practice or qualifying. Obviously, this 99 team unloaded very tight. Harrison Burton going to jump to the lead now out in front of Michael Annett down the back straightaway. He'll hold that lead into turn 3. Schneider goes 3 wide to the inside of Landon Castle and CJ McLaughlin to pass a couple cars there down the backstretch himself. 30 laps in stage 1, 30 laps in stage 2, 40 laps will be in the final stage here tonight.
Hold your line, got one inside. You're all clear on the bottom end. Inside. You got room, you're clear. People already watching for an early evening race.
Greatly appreciate it. Connie Boy, Ashton G, welcome to the stream as well. Now up to 11 already watching. Again, thanks for everybody tuning in. Like, share, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Remember, just the first race of 2 tonight. Doubleheader will be running at Kentucky for the Xfinity Series on this career mode after the finish of this one. Jr. got a little tight there in turn 4. Schneider's got a run on him, looks to be outside. Now tries to side draft him a little bit. On the front stretch, Vaccarello leaves a little room on the top as well. Look at the run in the draft down these long straightaways in Indy that Schneider is getting. But with that, he carries a little bit too much speed into turn 1, and Jeff Green's able to keep control on the outside lane and clear the 99. Oh, and Vaccarello gets a little bit sideways entering into turn 2. Contact with the 99 bounces him off the racetrack. Next online lobbies, no exact date right now, but I will do another online lobby before I go to Nashville Father's Day weekend for the Cup race there. Not going to have a lot of time this week going to Mid-Ohio for the Xfinity race Saturday.
Looking inside now.
Got a doubleheader today. I want to do a doubleheader tomorrow, beat them off work as well, so. We were going to start at 6, but that's because I originally thought we were going to run Pocono. Because the game skipped Pocono, I wanted to run at 5 because the second race is going to be a little bit longer than this one. Versus if we ran Pocono, they both would have been shorter 100-lap races.
Stay low, stay low.
So that's why I started an hour earlier.
Still there?
Kind of threw my scheduling off a
Stay
little
low,
bit.
stay low.
You blame NASCAR Heat 5 for that one. Not in this episode, no. After the race is over, I'll end the stream and then start another stream with the Kentucky race. We will run back-to-back here tonight. Still trying to make up ground again. He passes Jeff Green for 29th. Taking him a long time to get through this traffic, and this car is still pretty tight. 7 laps into the run. Not good when he's only got a 7-point lead over Chase Briscoe for the regular season standings right now. He's going to need a solid run in this one. And I will still be live streaming Saturday night, by the way, even though I'm going to Mid-Ohio for the Xfinity race. The race is early enough in the afternoon, and I only live just over an hour and a half away from the racetrack, that I should be home by about 5:30, 6 o'clock, so no reason why we can't get a stream in at like 7 or 8 o'clock Saturday night. So, won't have to plan on missing a day at all this week. I'm going to the racetrack. Harrison Burton out in front. Still coming off that 6-win season and still winless so far this year. This is race 17, which means we are just past halfway done as soon as the checker flag flies in race 1 here tonight. Still in good position to make the playoffs for now. We have had 8 different winners. Timmy Hill's outside the top 30 in points though. Get some Cindric merch there. No, I'm not going to get Cindric merch. Why would I do that? I'm only a Penske fan because Blaney races for Penske. Not a huge fan of Logano's driving style. Cindric's a cool guy, but no, I only get merch of Blaney stuff, really. I don't have any personal merch outside of, well, Biffle stuff from when I was younger. I think I only have like one Biffle shirt that actually still fits me.
Careful, still there.
We're slowly starting to get through this field. Obviously, no qualifying or practice is definitely hurting them right now. They're going to have to make some adjustments at the stage 1 break. That is for certain.
All right, you're clear.
Slowly trying to get through there. Trying to side draft Joe Nemechek. Big draft off the back of Colby Howard as well. And to the inside of the Kirsten Whataburger car of David Starr. No problems with David Starr, but problems with the sponsor, that's all. For those of you that watched the NASCAR Fantasy Podcast yesterday, you'll know why that would be the case. And if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend going back and watch it. I told my Coke 600 story, road trip story. Love Joey's. To me, that's what you call racing. Racing hard and aggressive, you know, side drafting and everything, that's one thing. But it's the way he blocks, you know, like way, way, way too late, you know, and causes accidents is the thing I've got against Joey. You know, on the attack is one thing. Well, I mean, except for when he was on the attack on Truex at Martinsville in 2018, that was a little aggressive. Like, I get a bump and run. I mean, he slammed him. Like, he was committed to driving through him. Is what it is. I'm all for blocking. I mean, you can block, but you know what happened in the Daytona 500 earlier this season. You know, stuff like that, where what he has done in the Clash. It was 2019. You know, stuff like that on fast, dangerous racetracks. Where, well, if I'm not going to win, I'm going to wreck trying. You know, it's one thing to do that on a short track. It's another thing to do that when you're going over 200 miles an hour. That's all I'm going to do. My sister's a Logano fan. One of my friends that I got into NASCAR is a Logano fan. I'll support him for those reasons. You know, if those two people are at the racetrack and he happens to be running well. But that's pretty much where I draw the line there. I'd like to see Penske do good, but... yeah, I only got a couple games for on PS4. I don't play much outside of NASCAR. But I got MLB The Show 21, and then I've got the 2K PGA Tour game. I think Matt Kenseth was at fault when the guy was spun him. At Kansas, there's a little bit of both. Joey definitely didn't lift. Can't blame him for it. Closing laps of the race, and Kenseth did block him. I think it was just a racing incident, honestly. In that instance. But I think it was just the prior history Logano had with other drivers is what, probably a reasoning of why Kenseth thought it was all his fault versus, thinking it was 50-50. Thinking more logically.
Careful.
And you can't blame him for that either. Yeah, it was a racing deal. Kenseth threw the block and Logano just drove through him. It goes hand in hand. Luigi Mara, welcome on into the stream. Harrison Burton's got a pretty big lead back to where Schneider's at right now. Lap 15 at the start-finish line in stage 1. Caution free in the first half of the opening stage. Patrick Shadley, welcome on in. hit lunch break. What did I miss? Just the first 14 laps. Started at the back, no practice or qualifying. He's just cracked the top 20, currently in that 20th position. Michael Annette won the first couple laps from the pole, and Harrison Burton's has led since lap 3. Just kind of slowly pulling away from everybody else. Can this be the day Burton breaks through with a win and becomes a 9th different winner this season? Schneider aggressively into turn 4, about to spun out. Drove in way too deep, way too low. Put that curbing, about spun out. Jeffrey Earnhardt threw a block there in the short chute. Schneider was still committed to try and get underneath him, and probably should have backed out a little bit more. Almost costing him, but he keeps the car straight, keeps it clean, and continues right on. The car's slowly getting faster as this run gets on, too. It's freeing up slowly but surely. Still a little on the snug side, but not too bad. Well, yeah, if you spin somebody, I completely, agree that you race people the way they race you. But at the same time, I'm not one to start the incident. DB Forever 85, welcome on in. Alright, that massive run on Emmerich down the front stretch clears them easily before they get off into turn 1. 99 car's fast late in the run.
Still there? All right, you're clear.
There's Austin Cindric, who's passed quite a few cars already as well. Now up to 12th, getting around Justin Haley in turn 3. Schneider to the inside of Haley for 13th. Through the short chute and into turn 4. He'll get around Haley as well for position. And a huge run down to 22 of Cindric. And a lot wider. Push on that throttle a little bit earlier. It's going to duck all the way to the inside line. There he is. Completes the pass into turn 1 on Austin Cindric. Oh, he got back in the gas too soon. He's in the wall. Contact with Cindric down the racetrack as well. Fine line. Schneider just kind of stepped over the edge a little bit too much. Still battles to the outside of the 22 though. So side by side for position.
You got room. You're clear.
I'm curious to see, if there's going to be any, what kind of merch is going to be at Mid-Ohio this weekend, outside of, track merchandise. Because it's a standalone Xfinity race. I've been to Xfinity races and truck races before, but I haven't, well, I guess Eldora was a truck race of itself, and I didn't see any. I think I saw a Thor Motorsports hauler, and, that was it. T-shirt hauler. There wasn't anything else merchandise-wise outside of track merchandise. So I would assume it's, you might see some junior motorsport stuff there, and then maybe Austin Cindric stuff only because he won the championship last year. You might see some AJ Allmendinger stuff too, but I don't imagine that there's going to be that much merchandise there as far as driver merch. Be interesting to check out. Definitely want to watch that vlog. Vlog of the Coke 600, by the way, is going to be out tomorrow on the channel. Plenty of time to edit it and get it uploaded tomorrow with have it uploaded. 11 laps to go, stage 1. Got kicked out one place because he chopped. I mean, did he make contact with you when he chopped your nose off? You know, it kind of like again, it's one thing to block, you know, but the minute you get blocked and you get some sort of damage or it comes down into your left front, you know, without you lifting. If he blocks you and you're still on the gas and you can't get to his bumper, you know, that's a clean block, in my opinion. Well, that, and it depends what they said in the drivers' meeting, too, beforehand, if it was like an organized karting event. Because if they say, I mean, some places take it more strict. I know one of the racetracks I raced at was very strict on, like, contact being made and stuff. They were a little too strict because, like, you'd make accidental contact with somebody and they'd warn you with the black, like, they'd roll the black flag up, kind of like they would roll the caution flag up under yellow. To give like a driver's a 1-to-go signal, and they'd point at you, and that'd be your warning. And it's like I just got loose and slid into him. Like I didn't mean to actually make contact. Like they were way too like on top of it. I hadn't been on like the receiving end of getting thrown out, but I think a lot of it was they knew I was like the cleanest racer there. I was a little too clean though, because there were times I probably should have stuck up for myself, and I didn't. You know, and I got pushed around or something like that, and I just raced. I was like Martin Truex Jr. essentially. It was like, you know, somebody would Joey Logano me, and I would like just race the heck out of him, but I would do everything I could to not make contact. I think there was only like maybe 1 or 2 occasions where like they were like leaning on me in the corner lap after lap. I was like, okay, I'm just, you know, gonna keep the wheels straight this next corner, and have him turn into me, and he's just gonna turn my cart for me. See, when I was in quarter midgets, it was nice. Everybody was racing clean because it was open wheel.
Still there?
But in go-karts, we had like a stock body. That was close. A little bit of contact with Riley Herbst and Keegan Schneider off turn 2. Schneider couldn't clear him. Herbst barely kept it off the wall. He's able to stay to the outside of the 99. Now he's dropping line behind him in turn 3. Schneider to the inside of Gregson for 10th, and he's got the spot there.
Still there?
They're starting at the rear. He's in position now to get stage points at the end of stage 1. I've had an instance or two also where like they've chopped my nose off, like I'm underneath them, and they cut down in front of me, and they spin themselves out, and and they like throw their arms up in the air like what? like I turned him, I was like, dude, I was there. I mean, he just kept like coming down. I was wondering if you were, you know, gonna still give me room. I'm not gonna just back out of the gas when I'm already halfway underneath you. Jason Games, welcome to the stream. We made it for the first race tonight. We got one more coming up after this. 6 laps to go, stage 1. Harrison Burton continues to lead. Schneider's got a shot to gain a couple more spots. Be a big position if he can get around Briscoe. Again, only 7 points separate Schneider and Briscoe for the regular season standings. Briscoe's in 8th. Schneider's in 10th right now. Run on the pole sitter Michael Annette is going to lose another spot. Schneider's 1 spot away now from Briscoe. About 4 seconds ahead of him is Ross Chastain. I don't know if he's going to get there in time. It's possible. It's a long racetrack. 5 laps to go, though.
Hold your line, driver. Clear low, clear low. Clear high, bud.
It all depends on like the age group and stuff too, because you know the age group. If you're in a younger age group, you got to cut them slack. You have to, because likely they don't know what they're doing. They're learning. But I mean, I raced adult classes when I was 13 years old. You know, it was one of those things where, like, I maybe moved up a little too soon because I didn't win as much, and that could have, you know, costed me, but at the same time, you know, quarter midgets and stuff like, you know, the smaller series, I was winning too much. So it was different competition, but then when I moved up, I didn't, you know, have the success moving up. There was one year I did finish second in points at a racetrack. And that was a couple of years into moving up. It took me a couple of years to get there, and then I just never had that same success. I won races here and there, but that was about it. Scott Heckert or Kyle Busch? I would stay away from Scott Heckert considering the equipment he's in.
You got room. You're clear.
Like, it's one thing to throw an AJ Allmendinger, but we've seen Paulig Racing have good runs in the past in the Cup Series. And for BJ McLeod, live fast, yeah, it's not worth it. Workwear Racing, you know, those cars, yeah, I don't care who they put in the car, it's not worth putting those guys in. You're trying to save for Kyle Busch.
Still there. You got room. You're clear.
I would look towards a guy like Michael McDowell, perhaps. Can I have? I don't race anymore. No, I raced growing up. I raced quarter midgets into go-karts. So about the age of 19, a couple years ago, and then my grandpa got sick, and then he sold. Well, before he got sick, he sold the race car, and he was getting, you know, up there in age and stuff too. But he didn't really give me an option. You know, that's the only thing. It was like, I understand why he did it, but it's like, why didn't you just give it to me? You know, like, why didn't you give it to my dad so we could have, you know, done something like that? I don't understand why he just sold it. You know, I get it was his, and he wanted, you know, whatever money back he could after putting a lot of money into it. It was, again, I understand, but it was like, didn't say anything about it. He just did it. You know, it was random too. Didn't think he was going to do that. Replacing Ben, and that's another driver who I don't like his driving style. If there's one guy, like, I don't really hate drivers. Like, I dislike Joey Logano's driving style and stuff, but I don't actually dislike Joey Logano. You know, I don't, like, despise anybody in NASCAR. But if there's one guy I like the least in the sport of NASCAR within all three of the top three series, it would be Ben Rhodes. Between Martinsville and Texas last season, that sealed the deal for me.
Still there.
In the truck series, those back-to-back.
All right. Clear on that.
I was like, yeah, that's a little extreme. I'm like, come on, dude. He's like Joey Logano 2.0. But it's like it's way worse with Ben Rhodes. Like, Logano doesn't just flat out dump you, you know, but he'll do everything but. Ben Rhodes will just flat out dump you. Like, he doesn't care. Green, white, checkered flag is about to wave for the first time tonight. Caution free through stage 1 here at Indianapolis, and Harrison Burton will win the opening stage of the race.
Careful, still there.
Harrison Burton wins stage 1. Schneider from the rear gets up to 6th. Pretty solid run there.
A few stage points.
Thoughts on Dale Sr. driving style? Yeah, I mean, if I grew up, I was born in the 90s, but I don't remember anything from there. But if I grew up, like, actually watching Dale Sr., yeah, I would have hated Dale Sr. And that's what most people forget, too. Dale Sr. was hated throughout most of his career. Until, like, the very end of his career when drivers started to root for him. I think that's kind of the Kyle Busch effect you're kind of seeing now a little bit, too, is where people despised him, and then, yeah, people still despise him, but you can see it slowly starting to, like he's getting a little bit more fans, and that'll only increase as it gets older, I think, personally. Half a round of wedge being taken out of the race car. That's the only adjustment for this 99 crew during the first pit stop of the race this time. So no on the autograph. Hey, you don't want my autograph, trust me. I mean, I guess if you see me in person, you ask for my autograph, then I will sign it. You know, I'm not going to say no, but I'm not a famous race car driver by any means, or will I be, so. Schneider nails the restart. Very fast pit stop. His crew gains him 3 spots on pit road. He gets to the lead through turns 1 and 2. And now he's got a battle right behind him. Alex LeBay looking for the lead, kind of following him up to second after LeBay restarted in 5th. Brandon Jones trying to work the high line as well. Schneider might have a shot to lead his first lap, and not quite. Crowding action there on the 36 of LeBay, and now Schneider got really tight, 3 wide behind him. Through turn 4, and they're still 3 by 3 through the field. Justin Haley now going to push the 99 of Schneider down the front stretch, going to send him into turn 1 underneath the 7 of Allgaier. Way too much speed. He has to lift so much. Carried way too much speed into the corner. 3 wide move. Harrison Burton, who lost a ton of time there on that restart, back to 10th. Took it 3 wide, getting desperate to try and get those spots back as quick as possible. We know how much the track position means here at Indy. Schneider looks back underneath of Noah Gregson for position.
Car outside. Car there on the inside.
Again, this car is still very tight.
Got a car coming inside now. Got one peeking inside. Say hi up there.
I respect him for, you know, his driving abilities, much like I very much respect Kyle Busch in that facet. But I think a lot of people, you know, probably hate to admit it, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. Kyle Busch is almost an identical replica of Dale Sr. Maybe not so much off the racetrack, you know, when it comes to like the early antics of Kyle Busch. You know, Dale Sr. wasn't like that off the racetrack, and I get that right. But on the racetrack, they're identical. I'm there so identical, and you can't tell me they're not.
Car outside. All clear.
Kyle Busch just kind of plays to his character off the racetrack more than Dale Sr. did. That's it. I mean, that's like the only difference between the two. That, you know, 7 championships versus 2, but, you know, you look at the win totals, and Kyle Busch is 1 away from 60. He's still got competitive years left in him. You know, maybe it is possible he can catch Dale Sr. one day and wins at least. But it was those early antics off the racetrack that maybe held Kyle Busch back early in his career from winning more championships. Very well possible. Yeah, I heard Kurt Busch is definitely in the rumor mill for 23-11, and assuming they expand next season. I don't know so much about Noah Gregson. Oh, Gregson to the 1. That's not impossible. I mean, Chip Ganassi's probably going to look at somebody with funding. If Gregson can bring the funding in, that wouldn't be impossible. I'm not saying he's going to really do much. He's in that Chevy camp. Wait and see. I think it would be rushing him, but we've seen guys get rushed up before, so it wouldn't be as surprising, is what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't put him in the 1 car. I think Kyle Busch is more ideal. What? How do you say that? No, I wouldn't say that. Darrell Waltrip was a very likable driver to the fans. He was one of him and Bill Elliott were like the fan favorites back in the 80s. driving style wasn't the same either. I can't compare Kyle Busch and Darrell Waltrip at all, to be completely honest. The only thing similar is, you know, championships. I mean, that's about the only thing you can even somewhat compare between the two of them, but that doesn't compare driving style at all. Championships doesn't. I mean, one of the best candies, gotta love Busch. There you go. All the candy cars. Snickers. Skittles. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to have that many years in Xfinity, but he hasn't really done much. He's won a couple races here and there, but he doesn't show any consistency. There is talent there if they can bring it out of him. Right now, they're just not bringing the best out of Gragson. He'd be entertaining in the Cup Series, I'll give him that much. As much as I griped on Ben Rhodes as well, I'd love to see him in the Cup Series because I feel like he'd be this age as Robbie Gordon. I really do. I think Ben Rhodes would be Robbie Gordon 2.0 if he was in the Cup Series. So for that reason alone, bring him up. Let's put him in somewhat competitive equipment. I want to see Ben Rhodes tick people off. It'll make for good TV. Could you imagine Ben Rhodes getting into it with even Kyle Busch or something? Because I could totally see that. Maybe are on separate pages with Kyle Busch. I'd say so. They're confirming that he's going to retire at the end of this year. I mean, that's what I would have thought, but then there's like more rumors. And that's another thing with rumors. I never believe the rumors until they come true. I'd say NASCAR, on the other hand, is a lot different from other sports. I feel like NASCAR rumors you can rely on a little bit more than other rumors in other sports, but I think it's because the media, overall media, you know, your big sports media like ESPN stuff doesn't really publicize NASCAR as much. So I feel like the rumors are more in-house, which is why NASCAR could be a little bit more, you know, believable, depending on what source you get that information from, of course. Who's better in their prime, Greg Biffle or Casey Keene? I'd say Greg Biffle only because Biffle was able to win a lot longer in his career. Like he only had a couple seasons where he won more than 2 races, but he was consistently that 1 to 2 win a year guy for most of his career. Where Casey Keene, most of his wins came early, and then into his later years, you know, with Hendrick Motorsports, which was the best equipment he was in his entire career, he didn't run as well. Wow, look at that move. 4 wide, and then we get a caution in the middle of him going 4 wide. That was going to be interesting into turn 1 if we stayed green, but we never got to see how that unfolded. Josh Bilicki will get the free pass. It's our first caution of the day. Comes at lap 43, almost halfway home. A couple cars pitting. Jeremy Clements, Timmy Hill. Everybody else going to stay out. Alex Obey will restart from the lead. This is going to restart Schneider in 20th. But yeah, Casey Keene, he left a lot of wins on the table for sure, too.
Coming to the green, driver. Be ready here.
Casey Keene could have. I mean, the ceiling was much higher for Casey Keene, but I think overall, now that they're both retired, I think we can say different. 15 laps to go, stage 2. This restart's going to change everything. Middle of the stage, Schneider's a little bit better with laps on his tires. Got the restart in that inside groove as well. Definitely helped him. See if he can continue this forward.
Careful, still there.
We'll have to watch those two guys on fresh tires again as well. Schneider finally getting around Anthony Alfredo down the backstretch. I was wondering if he was going to be able to get around him or not. Rushes to the inside into turns 3 and 4. Josh Williams gets around him for 16. Just a little down low to block.
Careful, still there. Still there.
Alex Labay still holding on out in front. That clean air advantage proving strong here in stage 2. Got the lead on that restart to begin the stage, and he hasn't lost the lead since. Like we saw Harrison Burton lead all but the first couple laps of the race. And Burton's got a very fast race car. Yeah, I heard about Larson winning an outlaw race the night after he won the Code 600. Crazy. That dude is the exact definition of a real man. Schneider now trying to block Jesse Little. Little had blocked Schneider the lap before. Schneider was able to make that pass as well on Justin Allgaier in the process.
Still there? Alright, you're clear there. Top 3 indicated.
They're slowly moving through the field. Trying to give himself a chance late, perhaps. That big run went all the way down low where Ray Black Jr. couldn't side draft him. That allowed Schneider to clear Ray Black into turn 1. And back inside the top 10 once again. Schneider has not led a lap yet today. Got to the lead on the restart, but he only led for about a half a lap. He couldn't lead back to the line. And passed by LeBay beginning of the stage. Pit crew was fast during that first stop, but what's really going to matter is if we're going to get a caution in the final stage, because if it goes green all the way to the end in that final stage, I don't see Schneider winning. Everybody's going to be very close on fuel, by the way, as well in the final stage, so it could definitely turn into a fuel mileage race if it goes green. As far as overall speed goes, I don't see Schneider being able to keep up.
Stay low, stay low. Alright, you're clear there.
At least for the race win, he could still definitely get a top 10. He's got that kind of a car still. LeBay pulling away with that track position. Can Alex LeBay get his first win of the season?
Still there? Alright, you're clear there.
And on the inside of C, Clements, or sorry, that's not Clements, it's Brandon Jones. Looked like Clements. And in the back of Ross Chastain as well. Shot him ahead of Jones as he holds clear.
Stay out the bottom.
Schneider side drafts Jones himself down the front stretch, now pulls away from him. Should be able to clear him into turn 1. 10 laps to go, stage 2.
Still there? All clear.
I never really thought of Johnson really having a rivalry. I'd say Kurt Busch, maybe. There in the early 2010s, they had a little bit of a rivalry, but outside of that, Johnson never really got into any run-ins, and it wasn't like it was, off the track run. It was like a back and forth, like a couple weeks in interviews. And that's all it was. Him and Jeff Gordon, yeah, they won a lot against each other, and they raced for the same team competitively. But I wouldn't call them rivals by any means. They seem like good friends off the racetrack. Gordon obviously mentored with Johnson as well. Here's the Burton Brandon Brown side by side for third, with Brown on the inside of Burton into turn 3. Problem is the 18 of Riley Herbst is right in front of both of them, holding him up. Trevor Grimes, welcome to the stream. Early for race 1. Again, we're doing a doubleheader today. It's raining and I couldn't go golfing after work, so I knew I was going to be able to get a doubleheader in. Too busy wasn't winning 7 chance. Yeah, exactly. And you can credit that too for him winning those championships. Never really got into any altercations. He kept his mind on the racetrack at all times and trying to just win, and that was it. He was able to get it done the majority of the time. That side draft in between Brown and Burton gives up the bottom lane easily for Schneider to get around both of them, now to the inside of Herbst for second place as well. Into turn 3, Schneider to a race high second place. Looking for a good point stay at least early on. Again, 6th in stage 1, and now in stage 2 with 7 to go. He's up to second, about 2 seconds off the lead from Alex LeMay. We'll be seeing pit stops at the stage break. Could be the final stops of the race. We don't know for sure. Oh, for sure, that was definitely a shocking retirement. Probably the most shocking retirement in NASCAR history, to be quite honest. At least in recent memory. He was in his prime. Best equipment he's been in his entire career, considering how good JGR's been in the 2010s. I mean, they've been good pretty much from the beginning, but even better in the 2010s, it seems like. The driver lineup and everything thrown into that. Six more laps. Can Schneider catch LeMay? He's running a pace quick enough to do it, but is he going to run out of laps if we get another caution? That's why he's hustling right now. He wants to get that 11th stage win of the season. Yes, welcome to the stream. And pretty well. Hopefully you have too. 5 laps to go on the stage this time by. LeMay's led every lap so far in stage 2. Maybe not for long, because Schneider's starting to get a little bit of a run on him. More than a little bit down the front straightaway that time. He's got a massive run into turn 1. Just has to keep hitting his marks and he'll get there. He's gonna have a great shot through turn 2. Beats LeMay back to the gas. Now he's in the draft down the back straightaway. Has a run. Pulls to the inside. Side drafts to 36 now. Pulls away from him again. Trying to make sure LeMay doesn't side draft him back. Schneider clear before they even get into turn 3. For the first time in race 1 of our doubleheader tonight at Indianapolis, Keegan Schneider will take the lead late in stage 2. We'll have just 4 laps to go at the line this time. He's going to try to break that draft down on the inside and make sure LeMay doesn't get back to him. 12 likes on the stream already as well. Thanks for everybody doing that. Again, don't forget Kentucky coming up after this one. Shot for Schneider, if he wins both races tonight, to tie Chase Briscoe's record from last season for the most wins. You'd have to think the pace he's running on right now, he can easily break that record. Remember the champion last year, Harrison Burton, won all 5 of his races in the regular season in the first 13 races. He didn't win another race till the championship at Phoenix when he won it all. Now he's winless this year. He's running third tonight. He won stage 1. He could be a favorite to win this race as well as we get into the later going. 3 more laps, stage 2. We're at the point now, if we get a caution, the stage is over. Nothing but clean traffic, clean air up ahead of the 99. He's not going to catch any lap traffic in this stage. Easily hits his marks here for the final 2.5 laps, and he'll get that 11th stage win of the season. Rainer Brown, Brandon Jones, 4th and 5th as well. Brown having another great run. Had that win very early in the season to get his way into the playoffs. We're going to do NASCAR 5 with Jimmy Johnson. Not tonight at least, but yeah, we'll continue that playthrough again periodically. If when we do get done with the NASCAR Heat 5 stuff, I plan on only doing NASCAR 05 until the next NASCAR game comes out. It's just a matter of how quickly they can win these championships on the career mode. Obviously, it took us at least 1 extra season for the Xfinity Series here. It's going to make it harder. Final lap of stage number 2 at the line, this time at the Brickyard.
White flag is in the air.
On a 4-second lead now opened up for the 99. And add another playoff point to the total. Expand that regular season championship lead, which was only 7 points ahead of Briscoe coming into this one. After the second race tonight, we'll only have 8 races left until the playoffs. So we're quickly closing in towards the end of this season. And hopefully we can win it. We'll go cup racing in the career mode next year. I am excited for that, to see how that is going to go in the coming weeks. Green white checker flag in the air. Keegan Schneider will win stage 2 at Indy.
Won that stage. Way to go, driver.
Now we'll be seeing pit stops during the stage break once again. Could be the final time today that we will see pit stops. It's going to be very, very close on fuel for everybody to the end of stage 2 if we go caution free like we did in stage 1. No adjustments on this 99 car either. Actually, they're going to take a round of wedge out. Or another half a round. I guess it'd be a round total from the start of the race. And that's the only adjustment here. So they're still working on that 99 car through each of the first 2 pit stops. Wins the race off pit road. He'll restart from the lead. Burton gains a spot. He'll restart in the front row in second. Green flag back in the air. Final stage underway. 37 laps to go at Indianapolis. Great jump by the 99. Quickly gets out ahead of the 20. Alex LeBay with another great restart of his own, quickly up to second place in the short chute of 1 and 2. Has a huge run off the exit of turn 2. Looks low. Schneider with a block down the back straightaway. Here comes Brandon Jones on the outside in second place. He has to run Schneider high to block now. Chastain right in line behind the 19 on the outside. Gets pinched off by the 36 of LeBay down the back straightaway. Schneider into turn 3 still trying to hold the lead. Slides up the track a little bit. Alex LeMay gets to the bottom into turn 4. He slides into the 99. He doors him out of the way, and Alex LeMay gets to the lead at Indy. Chase Briscoe to second. Brandon Jones pushing the 99 of Schneider, trying to get him going again down this front straightaway. Schneider back to the inside of the 68 of Brown. Huge run, 199 miles an hour into the corner, and he had to lift quite a bit. Chastain almost gets into the back of him. Burton still losing spots on the restart. Schneider down low now to block Allgaier off. Every position so vital this late in the race. Seen this 99 car struggle on fresh tires all day long. Massive push from Ross Chastain again. Cuts down in front of the 7, but he couldn't stay there. Oh, and he's in the wall off turn 2, and they're 3 wide. No wonder he was in the wall, and now he gets clipped by Chastain, who ran up the racetrack. He got a little tight. Overdrove the corner. They about wrecked again. But they still make it through on this chaotic restart. And again, Alex LeMay is out in front of it all with 35 to go. Look at LeMay as a road course racer, but boy, he's got a shot to win here at Indianapolis. Push from the 44 of Tommy Joe Martins. A lot more bump drafting now than what we've seen all race long. No surprise, though, down these long straightaways at Indy, especially with it now being in the final stage. Inside. Question now is how far can Alex LeMay get out ahead? Will Schneider have a chance to get him? And the other question, will these guys make it on fuel to the finish? Because right now, as we stand, everybody's about a lap to a lap and a half short on fuel. Can they save that much in this final run to the checkered flag? Schneider in the wall again in turn 2. He's just pushing it way too hard. We know he's super tight early in the run. He's made adjustments under both pit stops today. It's still tight early in the run. You get a caution, everybody should be about a lap or so good to the end on fuel, but if they don't get a yellow. Oh boy. Definitely going to come down to the finish if that's the case. Schneider down low to block Josh Williams for position. Trying to hang on to 20th right now. That's all the further he fell back on the restart to stage 2 after he started from the lead. 3 wide into the corner. Timmy Hill darts underneath of Josh Williams and Jeffrey Earnhardt. To the outside of Schneider. Schneider had to lift. Got that air taken off the right rear, and then he started to get tight on top of it. He had to let Timmy Hill go. Now he's back to 22nd. Push from Josh Williams. Allow him to get back around the 0 of Jeffrey Earnhardt at least into turn 3. And back to the inside of Timmy Hill. And again, washes up the track just enough. Jeffrey Earnhardt will get around him. Williams to the inside, looking to get around him as well. This 99 car is starting to drop like a rock. To get underneath the 92 of Williams. I mean, everybody's blocking this late in the race, and you can't blame them. Making it harder to pass around this track that's already difficult to make passes on. Schneider again with a run underneath Williams. Great straightaway speed. He just does not have the handling in the corners for about the first 10 laps of the run. Caution midway through stage 2 is the only reason he won the stage. The stage is 10 laps longer than each of the first 2 stages. That could also help. But again, here's the straightaway speed quickly moving Schneider back inside the top 20. But he just can't hold the bottom. He does enough. That time, 3 wide behind him. That definitely helped. How did Williams sneak through without any contact with the 21 or the 0? Timmy Hill with a block down the back straightaway on Austin Hill. About put him in the wall. Another run on Austin Hill. Guides all the way to the bottom. Breaks the draft, pulls up in front, clears Austin getting into turn 1. Looking to perhaps stay in front of him into turn 2, and he will. The 66 of Timmy Hill. The inside into turn 3.
Careful, still there.
Not going to make the pass. Went as low as he could have went. Didn't quite have enough momentum. He had a lot. Still wasn't good enough. Nearly full throttle through turn 4, but he had to lift on corner exit. Very close to the wall. He almost overran the corner. Did a slight bit, but it could have been a lot worse than what it was.
Still there.
Needs to keep this car clean to the end as well. Woo! That's a huge block up the racetrack. Both cars almost end up in the wall. Schneider is pushing the limits. Breaks the draft down the back straightaway. Alex LeBay, meanwhile, is just pulling away from the rest of the field. And it's going to be a while before he catches lap traffic if this does go green to the end. Only going to help him. And again, trying to break the draft on Timmy Hill behind him. Alternate through the different camera angles. About the next 6 laps. Maybe close to a dozen actually, because we haven't alternated through the cameras at all yet in this race. Usually try to do it at least twice. Again, this is the run to the finish. Barring a caution. Definitely going to be an interesting watch to see if this 99 can get up there. If he does, will he have enough time at least to get around LeBay, and then can he save enough fuel in the process? Sure, LeBay's just trying to widen that gap out as much as he can first. Then he'll probably worry about saving fuel second, I have to imagine. Schneider's side drafts Tommy Joe Martins down the front straightaway at Indy. Crosses the yard of bricks. Has the advantage into turn 1 and now clears him as Martins just kind of lets it go. Drops in line behind him. So that way he can get to the inside by the time they enter into the corner as well. He did not want to be stuck on the outside into turn 1. He's just trying to salvage whatever position he can. full throttle all the way through turn 4 that time for Schneider. I think he's a little too snug this early in the run to be doing that, but he's pushing. He can't worry about saving gas now. I mean, he's in a position where he's in the playoffs, but he is still running for that regular season championship. He doesn't want to run out of fuel, but if everybody's this short, everybody might have to pit still to the finish. And then what's the strategy there? Will we see some guys go fuel only? Maybe some take tires? We'll have to keep an eye on the tire wear. We haven't seen much tire wear here today. But we haven't seen a stage this long either. We've only seen 30 lap stages, not 40 lap stages. And that can definitely make a big difference in how that pit strategy plays out. These guys have to pit. Maybe some guys can make it and some guys have to pit as well. That's very well possible too.
Careful, still there.
We do know everybody last pitted during the stage break, and nobody has pitted since. Haven't had a chance to either unless they want to pit under green. Whew, boy, Schneider almost in the wall in turn 1. He cannot make another mistake again here. The problem with trying to free the car up to help it as much as he can in the middle and the short run is only going to make it a little bit looser in the long run. Again, this could be the longest green flag run of the race if he goes green to the finish as well. Know how the car's going to handle past that 30 lap mark as it is, let alone with this setup. Half round to wedge out after the first stop and a half round out after the second stop. He's got 2 sets of tires left to the finish, but it's been faster as it is on older tires. I don't think he wants to hit for tires even if you do get a yellow. Whatever happened to Robert Yates Racing? Yeah, they just kind of went out business. Now, Yates and Roush still work on all the engines for Ford. So Robert Yates himself is still around the sport of NASCAR. The Yates name is still in the sport of NASCAR. And the engine department for Ford, they produce all the engines. But as far as the team Robert Yates Racing, they've been closed down there in the late 2000s. I don't think they made it into the 2010s. I think Danny B Talks has a video on the rise and fall of Robert Yates Racing. I would assume he does a lot of those kind of series. So if you could find it, I highly recommend a video on that. I would assume he's got a video on it. I probably watch it already too. That'll tell you everything. I don't know everything about that situation. Sends it underneath Ray Black Jr. to get around him. Back up to 12th. Last season's race at Indianapolis, I can remember 2 cautions in the final 10 laps. One of them set up an overtime finish. We've only seen 1 caution per incident all day long. He came midway through stage number 2. It came at lap 43 in this 100-lap race. We are currently at lap 81 as of the race leader right now. And Schneider's still 15 seconds off the lead from Alex Levay with 20 laps to go. Again, he's got to push. He can't just save fuel. He's not going to win the race out. Save fuel over the course of the run. big Sadler fan, Jared. And there's some nice looking paint schemes back in the day, UPS and the M&M schemes. Elliott Sadler was a cool dude.
Still there.
Definitely one of the more likable drivers in the garage, I'd say.
You're clear.
Had a career resurgence in the Xfinity Series too there towards the end of his career. Almost won a couple championships. He was so close, man. Deserved it a couple times. Couldn't get it done. Drafts off Ross Chastain, drafting down these long straightaways as well is only going to help. Back inside the top 10 now is Schneider as he continues to press forward. Look at that huge pack of cars all battling for position right now. Right around 5th place. Laps to go. Alex Obey's about to catch lap traffic, but after these first couple cars, he's going to have another big gap for catching another lap car in this one, which means more clean air for Alex Obey. It just gets to the outside of Riley Herbst. Side drafting doesn't save fuel, but drafting bumper to bumper does. Doubt you dominated, am I right? I'd say yes. We've only led, I believe, 6 laps under green. That was the last 6 laps of stage 2. Then we led some laps under caution during the stage break of stage 2 as well. So we probably only led about 9 laps this entire race. Just inside the top 10, 3 wide into turn 3. A gutsy move underneath Sieg and Jones, and now they're still 3 wide. It's Clements. I've been getting Jones and Clements mixed up a lot today. I'm in similar paint schemes. One's a white car, one's kind of a chrome and silver car. Jones and Cindric still side by side. Schneider couldn't make the pass on either one of those two drivers there during that gutsy maneuver. 16 laps left, trying to get around him quick. 3 wide into turn 1 again. Cindric about slid into the 19 of Jones. Schneider clears Cindric. Clears Jones now to the inside of Briscoe into turn 2 for 4th. Jones has the run down the back straightaway. Looks low to try and get a draft off the 99. Schneider's going to pull up and clear Briscoe down the back straightaway for 4th place. Can he get there, and will he have enough fuel to the finish? This season, we've got the most wins so far this year, but we're only 7 points ahead of Briscoe for the regular season standings, and we've only had 3 finishes outside the top 10. So that just goes to show how consistent Briscoe has been this year, despite not winning a race. Definitely the 2 championship favorites. I think Sadler won only 3 cup races. I think he only won 2. He might have won 3, but you know what? I think he did win 3 because he had 2 in one season. I think he did have 3. Might have to fact check me. He's got 2 or 3. Alex Labay's been held up in heavy lap traffic, as well as Brandon Brown and Harrison Burton in 2nd and 3rd. And what was a 15-second lead is now down to 3 seconds all of a sudden. with that heavy lap traffic, there isn't another lap car in the near vicinity around those guys. Anyway, Inside Uranus, welcome to the stream. And this is helping Schneider. I mean, he is closing fast. If he can get ahead of these guys by quite a bit, then he can start saving fuel to the finish. And he's got a huge head of steam into turn 3. Look at this lap traffic, 2 by 2, nearly 3 wide in the middle. Schneider gets loose through turn 3, hangs onto it into the short chute. And this bumper-to-bumper traffic now. A little contact with Jeff Green off the exit of turn 4. Schneider got into the back of him as him and Brown split 3 wide there. Big run underneath Alex LeBay into the lead into turn 1. Still 3 wide with the lap traffic though. Slides up the racetrack. Harmon still in front of him again. Schneider gets loose off turn 1. Having the wheels off this race car, now trying to stay in front of LeBay, who caught Harmon in the middle of turn 2. Schneider holds on to the lead. Just the second time he has led today. And now can he make it on fuel to the finish? It's going to be close. We'll have to see exactly how much fuel he is down to the end. 2.5 mile racetrack here at Indy. That is a lot of fuel to save if he's nearly a lap short. Now, he started the run about a lap and a half short, so he has saved fuel just during the course of the run. A lot of that is in the draft, but now he's got no drafting help with him leading and a bunch of clean air in front of him. He's about 3/4 of a lap short. It's about 2 miles short on fuel. A little less than 2 miles short. A lot to save in the final less than 12 laps at Indy, but we'll see if he can do it. He's not going to use the brakes anymore. He's only going to lift out of the throttle in the corners. Should pit, but don't take fuel. Well, we're short on fuel, don't take fuel. Definitely not going to take any tires, shouldn't need to. Using the brakes does use gas, so Schneider's backing off a little bit extra in these corners. Trying to save that fuel to the finish. Good news is he's building up a massive lead now all of a sudden on Alex LeBay, who finally got through the lap traffic. So if Schneider does run out of fuel, he's trying to build a gap. Because if he runs out, it's likely going to be on the final lap. Oh, he's in the wall off turn 4. 10 to go at the line. Still pushing too hard, obviously. That's why he slid up into the wall. Still got a 6-second lead. Don't want to damage this race car in case we get another restart. Now he's saving quite a bit into turn 3 that time. Lap time's going to drop off quite mightily now. Again, we don't even know if everybody else is going to be good to the end on fuel as well. But again, a 6-second advantage, 9 laps to go now. Schneider save enough gas. Get that 8th win of the season. looking way out. We have seen fuel mileage races here at Indy before. No shocker here. See, I'm going to get 2 wins in the Cup Series because it's going to be, yeah, it's definitely going to be hard. Longer races. Obviously, we're going to go back to underfunded equipment when we start. That's why it's important to win as many races on our way out in the Xfinity Series as well. I think I'm going to run a part-time Xfinity and truck schedule. We could run up to 5 races in a season by NASCAR rules. So, you know, I think I'm going to do that to try and get extra money. So we're not completely retiring from the truck and the Xfinity Series. I'll run 5 more in each for the season. I'm probably only going to run the higher purse races as well. Can't run into the playoffs either. Schneider is saving a ton right now, and it doesn't look like LeBay is saving nearly as much as Schneider because that lead is down to 3.5 seconds. It was 6 a few laps ago. 7 laps to go. Haven't seen a lot of tire wear today, so that's not going to be a factor in the end. Schneider saved quite a bit of gas. He continues doing what he's doing, he should have enough to the end. But LeBay is catching him. So at some point, Schneider's going to have to pick this pace back up again. But when is going to be the next question. See LeBay growing bigger in that rear view mirror of the 99 of Schneider as well. Backing out early into turn 3. LeBay pushing the limits. Can he make it on fuel to the end? He is less than a second off the race lead. And closing fast on the 99 of Schneider. Schneider's still about a half a mile short on fuel. We're on this 2.5 mile racetrack. 5 laps to go in Indy. The lead is just less than a second now, and he's got to start pushing a little harder to make sure he stays in front of LeBay. It's going to be burning. Oh, and now we get a caution with 5 laps to go. And this is going to just completely change the strategy. And we have a lot of cars pitting. Joe Nemechek gets the free pass in 24th. Some drivers are going to stay out and try to make it to the end. Now, this will make it to where everybody who... Well, again, everybody's likely short on fuel as it is. They will make it on gas now to the end. But where the problem lies is we're going to have a lot of guys on fresh tires. And this is a 2.5 mile racetrack. It looks like only the top 8 cars are going to stay out of the pits. And everybody else is going to be on 4 fresh Goodyears. 2 laps to go. Green, white checker. And the green flag is back in the air. Schneider restarts from the lead. Trying to get a jump. He's better on older tires. But everybody else is on fresh tires. Quickly pulls up in front of Alex LeBay. Now the 4th green, white checker finish we've had this season. When will those drivers on fresh tires be able to get inside the top 5, maybe get up to 2nd and challenge Schneider for the win? And the top 8 stayed out. That's going to help Schneider. We got a great launch on the restart. Not sure who the first driver is on fresh tires, though, trying to make his way through the pack. It might be Justin Haley, who's up to 5th. Recalling Racing in the number 11. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. This time at the line, Haley is the first driver on fresher tires. He's up to 4th. He's about a second and a half, a little less than that, off the lead around this 2.5-mile racetrack. Trying to make ground up. Ross Chastain's in the mix as well. So is Daniel Hemrick, also on fresher tires. Haley to 3rd. To the inside of Burton for 2nd, but Burton blocks. Schneider's got a massive gap with less than a half a lap to go. Almost 2 seconds now as Burton desperately tries to hold on for 2nd. Enough cars stayed out that it helped Schneider enough on the restart. They'll make it on fuel with that caution as well. Haley to 2nd, but it's too little too late. Checkered flag in the air off turn 4. Keegan Schneider is going to win at the Brickyard and at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, his 8th win of the season. In race 1 of the doubleheader here tonight, Schneider pulls off the victory. A stage win thrown at the end of stage 2 as well. He didn't lead a lot of laps. But when it's all said and done, he wins the fuel strategy race. Adding to the dominance this team has had this season. Oh, I thought I was going to nose it into the wall there. That was close. There we go. 84 minutes total time on the race today. And a race win. 8th of the year for Schneider. 12th of his Xfinity Series career. That might have been the caution at the end of the race right there with the pole sitter, Michael Annett. Those guys on fresh tires, 2 of them got to 2nd and 3rd, but not enough to get to Schneider just less than 2 seconds off the lead at the finish. Justin Haley comes up to finish 2nd. Daniel Hemrick 3rd. Harrison Burton 4th, who won stage 1. Chastain up to 5th. He was also on fresh tires. LeBay fell back to 6th. Brandon Brown 7th. Ray Black Jr. 8th. Justin Allgaier 9th. And Tommy Joe Martins rounds out the top 10 of that late race restart. Briscoe falls all the way back to 14th. 24 drivers finished on the lead lap. Cindric fell to 23rd. My goodness. And only 2 DNFs of Michael Annett and Brandon Jones in this race. Jackson Thomas, welcome on in. 8th win of the year, and now a 36-point lead in the regular season standings. So still not too big, but it is a nice lead nevertheless. And the Timmy Hill watch. He's getting closer. He's up to 27th. He was 30th. He has to get into the top 20 for that win to account for a playoff spot, but he is still 95 points back from Tommy Joe Martins, who had a top 10 day today. Hill did not finish in the top 10, so that hurt him as well. Harrison Burton had the fastest lap of the race, and Alex LeBay led 46 of the 100 laps. So there we go. Race 2 of the doubleheader coming up in a little bit. I'm going to get something to eat in between streams. We'll start up at 7 o'clock tonight. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time we'll run at Kentucky. Top of the hour for the second race of our doubleheader tonight. And we'll see if we can make any upgrades in our departments here before we exit this stream. get to simulate this race, so that's going to give us a little bit more money. Bigger payout races, too. Is there going to be a break? Never mind, you just said... Yeah, just a small break. Usually we go back-to-back, but I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I want to make sure I eat dinner instead of eating it at, like, 9 o'clock tonight. So we'll have a very small break. Just over $1 million. I don't think we quite have enough to make that upgrade and move up to a 95 on the suspension before Kentucky, but after the Kentucky race, we should be able to. Oh, no, we do have enough money. Okay, I didn't think we did. Cool, 95 on the suspension. 95 overall race car now all the way around. By the time we end up going green in this next race here, well, I guess we're not going to be maxed out in the aero. Okay, I guess we're going to have 95, 93, 93, but it's still a 94 overall race car for this next race, and still better than what we've had leading up to it. Maybe New Hampshire will be able to upgrade enough. Probably not. No, we're still going to be lacking a little bit at New Hampshire. Not too bad, though. Gonna look up the all-time wins list for the Xfinity Series just to kind of see where we're at. Yeah, again, Briscoe had a 9-win season in 2020. We have 8 wins now this year, just 2 away. We might be able to tie him in the second race tonight at Kentucky with the fastest car we've ever unloaded at a racetrack in this entire Xfinity portion of the career mode. All right. There's the car we're going to be using. And now the statistics on the season. Of course, we missed that start at Pocono. 6.9 average finish. Nice. 651 laps led. 13 top 10s. 11 top 5s. 8 wins. And 16 starts. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We've literally won half the races ran this season. Well, I guess not entirely because we missed Pocono, but half the races we've ran. Train your employees. No, I don't want to waste extra money training the employees. I could, but remember, we got to save what we can for the Xfinity Series, or sorry, for the Cup Series next season as well, so we have at least decent money to start off somewhat competitive there. I'd like to get to a 100 overall car first, and then once we do that, I'm done making any sort of purchases. I want to see Chase Briscoe's stats this season because, I mean, the fact he's only 36 points behind us, I know we missed a race, but 9 top 5s, 14 top 10s, so he's finished in the top 10 all but 3 times as well. He's actually got one more top 10 than us entirely. And his average finish is 6.8, so it's 1 tick better than us. His average start, 7.9. That's the big difference there. He's led 352 laps, still no wins, though. Look at that. In 2 seasons, he's led 801 laps, so only 1 win to show for us. 50 races, he's got 42 top 10s. That's insane. He won the regular season championship with that kind of consistency last year. He's trying to do it again this year. 9 races till the playoffs. We'll race at Kentucky again, top of the hour, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in for that one. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to do real quick. All-time win list. All-time win list on J-Ski, and we're going to see where we rank. Never going to catch Kyle Busch. I'll say that much right now. see here. We currently have 12. That ties us with Jimmy Spencer and Kyle Larson. For, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Ties us for 29th all time in the Xfinity Series win list. We need one more win to tie Martin Truex Jr., Darrell Waltrip, and Elliott Sadler. That's a pretty good list. And then we need 3 more wins to tie Larry Pearson, Todd Bodine, Randy LaJoie, and Morgan Shepherd. I think we can do it. 4 more wins to get to Jeff Green, Joe Nemechek, Christopher Bell, Justin Allgaier. Could tie Denny Hamlin with 5 more wins this year. That's still, I mean, again, that's doable. We got a lot of good racetracks for us coming up still. Bristol, going to be a big one. But yeah, we did go to Victory Lane tonight, indeed, Trevor. But that's going to wrap it up. Again, I'll see you guys in about a half hour. Top of the hour, we'll run at Kentucky for the Alsco 300. Enjoy the next half hour. Maybe grab a snack or so, and I'll see you back soon.